Sa new topics, nandun yung 30% lang. More or less. So you see, ibig sabihin, yung original, mabigat pa rin. Especially this. Especially this one. Partnership and corporation. Lalo na ito. Ito ang pinaka-heavyweight sa lahat. Corporation law. Hindi yan bumababa class ng 30% sa board exam. 25% to 30% sa board exam ang corporation law. But this is the foundation. Foundation itong obligations and contract. Kaya laging at least 10 to 20% itong dalawa. Itong dalawa ay 10 to 20% of the board exam. Dito yung mga new topics like law on cooperatives. Yan, importante yan. Mga favorite nila, AMLA, the Anti-Money Laundering Act, mga banking laws, kasama dyan ang PD, yung munang BP22, the Anti-Bouncing Check Law. Then, the SBD law, yung Secrecy of Bank Deposit Law, together with PDIC law. So, mga banking laws yan. Banking laws yan sila. Then, yung mga new, mga Data Privacy Act, Ease in Doing Business Act. Mga maliliit yan akong magtanong sa board exam. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Intellectual Properties, IPL, Intellectual Properties Law, and many others. Napakonti-konti lang. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Dito lang sa mga new na to, ito ang pinakamarami, cooperative. Umaabot siya ng 5 to 10. AMLA. Yan, ito. All the rest, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Unlike here. So, yan at least you have an idea. We will not be studying the law by section. Kasi pag inaral natin article by article, section by section, naku class, isang taon hindi pa tayo tapos. Sa dami nito. Isipin nyo class, 4 na semester nyo tinake. Tapos pagdating dito, ite-take lang natin ang this sem at saka next sem. Isipin mo? Kaya, although ang gagawin natin class, para hindi tayo laging nagmamadali at saka almost semi-zero base tayo, we will cut into half. Class? So, itong semester na to, dito tayo. Ang matatapos natin siguro hanggang partnership. Yan. This semester, para hindi tayo nagmamadali. The next semester ito. Corporation hanggang ito. Try natin kung matapos natin corporation. Pero sa tingin ko, because, sa undergrad, this is 1 semester. This is another semester. And this is another semester. Itong tatlo. So, ibig sabihin ito lang, 3 semester na to. See? So, what we will finish this semester, obligations, contract, sales, pledge and mortgages, and maybe hanggang partnership. Kung matapos man natin at merong konti, I'll just give you a brief advanced idea on corporation law. But ang corporation law, pang next sem na yan, kung po pwede. Hindi maganda yung nagmamadali tayo. Mas maganda yung slowly, di ba? Mas maganda class yung word na hindi naman talaga tayong slow, slowly but surely. So, sobrang bilis. Sobrang bilis, wala ka naman naintindihan. Di wag na lang. Mabuti pa yung medyo mabagal ka ng konti, may naintindihan ka. Pero hindi naman tayo mabagal. Pwede bang mabagal yun na ito, 3 semester to, tatapusin natin this semester. Sabi, yung 3 semester, tatapusin natin sa isang sem. Hindi yun mabagal. So, yung handouts sa obligations, alam ko, nasa inyo na, ha? Okay. Your study of law. Ito yung outline, ha? So, sa obligations, yung class, obligations. Ang source niyan, source, principal scores I, law on obligations, principal source class I, civil code of the Philippines. Yan ang principal source niya. And, of course, Supreme Court decisions. And plus may konting plus other special laws. Pero yan ang mga principal source. The Civil Code of the Philippines, known as Republic Act 389. Well, never mind the Act. Baka malito pa kayo. Hindi naman tinatanong sa board exam yung what is Republic Act like that. No. Ang tinatanong sa board exam yung concept. Oh. Importante lang yung mga Republic Act na yan, under section, ganon, sa amin, pagka nagdidebate na kami sa court. Pero for purposes of the board exam, what is important is the concept. Oh, kita mo, pati yung article, hindi ko na binanggit. Yung katulad ng under Article 1169, obligation is a juridical necessity to give to do or not to do. So, obligations class, outline. Outline. Start natin yung birth and sources of obligation. Ito, matatapos natin to today. Hanggang obligations of the debtor. Matatapos din natin yan today. Number 3, remedies of the creditor. Pagka daw hindi nakapag-perform si debtor. So, dito baka try natin basta sure tayo na 1 and 2. Ito lang mga 2 chapters ito. Ito another chapter. So, sure tayo na matatapos natin itong 1, 2. Maybe a portion of number 3. But I am not quite sure depending on how we develop. Try lang natin. Then that means ito, next meeting ito, kinds of obligation and extinguishment of obligation. Matagal ito. So ito mga 2 to 3 meetings ito. See, 2 to 3 meetings. Per meeting natin is 2 to 3 hours. Take note. Ayan. 2 to 3 meetings. Ito, so, okay? At least you know what is our target for today. Kasi importante, we are creatures of purpose. In life, katulad yan. Kaya kita mo, anong una ko yung tinuro sa inyo? Paano maging CPA? Na it is really your faith and your persistence. Because that is your goal. Kaya tayo magkasama-sama ngayon. We are together because of one thing. Hindi yung para gumraduate lang kayo, kundi para kayo ay maging. Yan ang ating target. Para kayo ay maging CPA. Never let go of it. Never let it go. What you will let go is your laziness, your lack of faith, your lack of perseverance. Yan, i-let go mo yun. Let go of your fear. Let it go, let it go, let it go, your fear, i-let go mo. Pero yung pagiging CPA, never let it go. Never. Di ba may kantang ganong class? Di ba may kantang ganon? Never. Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Never gonna hold you. Yes, never gonna let you go. I will never let you go. Love you, love you. Love you, love you, love you. Lagi mo sasabihin, love you, love you, love you. Lahat ng bagay kasi na minahal natin ay nagiging part ng buhay natin. Yan. Attitude, magiging CPA ka. Sir, bakit? Because that is The power of love. Even God, the most powerful. What is the favorite virtue of God? The favorite virtue of God is love. And even the Almighty created us because of love. See? Even the Bible confirms it. In the end, there are three things that will last: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of this is love. Kaya, lagi mo sasabihin yan. CBA, I love it, I love it, I love it. Love you, love you, love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. No? At magiging CBA ka with the help of the Almighty. Hey, class? Kailangan, never gonna let it go. Never gonna let it go. So when is this obligation born? Obligation, remember, is defined as a juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. Kasama dito sa not to do ang not to give. Pag sinabi mong juridical necessity, ibig sabihin, you can go to court. Yan ang from the word jury. You see? Necessity. Ibig sabihin, it is mandatory. I can go to court to tell you. I can ask for. Otherwise, I can ask for. Kung ayaw mo, perahin natin. Yan ang aking pinaka-remedy. Kung ayaw mong gawin, pero pupunta ako sa court. Yan ang juridical necessity. From the word jury, I can go to court and compel you. Necessity. Bakit? Obligasyon mo yan eh. See? Kung hindi, ayaw mong gawin, yung obligasyon mo, perahin natin. Yun, perahin natin, magiging damages. You see? Kung ayaw mong ibigay, yung pinangako mo na yan na kotse, ay perahin natin. Ayaw mong gawin, yung pinangako mo sa akin na bahay, perahin natin. Yung hindi ko pinapagawa sa'yo, example, don't block my right of way, binlock mo. Either ipapasira ko yan or perahin natin. Perahin ko dahil kailangan ko ng pera para gastusan ang mga taong sisira dyan sa pader na ginawa mo. Ba't mo nilagyan ng pader yan? Hindi naman sa'yo yan. You see, class? So, yan ang obligation. So, when we speak of obligation with juridical necessity, meaning you can go to court, ang tawag dyan, class, ay civil obligations. Yan, Kasi ang civil obligations ang enforceable sa courts. Kasi meron silang tinatawag na JN, juridical necessity, as distinguished from what you call natural obligation. Yan ang wala siyang juridical necessity. Kasi ang natural obligation, sa konsensya mo na lang. See? Hindi yan sila enforceable sa court. Sir, ano ba yan? Yes, natural obligation, also known as moral obligation. Hindi katulad nito, also known as legal obligation. Some call it perfect obligation. You see? Some call it perfect obligation. And some call this imperfect obligation. Kasi nga, hindi. Example niyan, ay yung mga religious obligation. See? Mga obligation to help the poor. Obligation to go to the church. Natural obligation yan. Obligation to help your relatives. Natural obligation yan. Pero, civil obligation. Obligation to pay taxes. Civil obligation yan. Obligation to give family support to your family. Civil obligation yan. Ibig sabihin, obligation na pwede kang pilitin sa court. Mga obligation in a contract. Contractual obligation. Civil obligation yan. Ibig sabihin, you can go to court. Example lang pala yan. Otherwise, dito, yan ang punishment, damages. Dito, pag hindi mo ginawa, walang damages. Pero magkakaroon ka ng, dito hindi damages ang pinag-uusapan. Sa natural obligation. Pag hindi mo ginawa, GTH. What is GTH? Go to hell. Ibig sabihin, makukonsensya ka. Kaya nga, sa board exam, pag nakakita ka ng word na obligation based on your conscience, yun yung natural obligation. Obligation na not enforceable in court, yun ang natural obligation. So, ang pinag-aaralan natin dito sa Civil Code ay ito. Civil obligation, hindi ito. So, kailan ba pinapanganak itong tinatawag na what we call juridical necessity? When is this juridical necessity born? Okay. You know, class, better if you can take down notes because that is, ang tawag dyan, class, if you are taking notes, that is what you call active learning. See? Don't you notice? Hindi ako nagpa-PowerPoint. Kasi ang PowerPoint pang senior citizen. Hanggat maaari, ayoko mag-PowerPoint. I am writing direct from my mind, direct from my heart. Para at least ikaw, pag sinulat mo yan, alam mo na galing yan sa mind. At dahil galing yan sa mind ng CPA, at nakuha mo yan, at nakuha mo lahat ng mga galing sa mind ko, magiging CPA ka din. See? So, take down notes because writing improves your intelligence. Class, totoo yan, Basta pag sumusulat ka, tumatalino ka. Para merong connection ng iyong kamay sa iyong heart at saka sa iyong mind. That's what you call active learning. Mga matatanda, class, mga senior citizen, ayaw na yan sumulat. Kasi una, matanda na sila. Yung iba, may rayuma na. Nahihirapan na sumulat eh. Tingnan nyo yung mga lolo-lola nyo. Kung sumulat, medyo nanginginig pa. Yung mga 80 plus na, ay. Pero at your age, write. You must write because you are young. So when is this juridical necessity born? This obligation is, it is born when the following elements meet. So ito yung essential elements of obligation. Ito yung birth of obligation. Yan ang essential elements of obligation. Hey. Uy, ayaw sumulat. S-O-E. SOE. SOE. Itong S, yan yung subject persons. The subject person is the active subject and the passive subject. The active subject is also known as the creditor or the obligee. Yan, the passive subject is also known as the debtor or the obligor. Si active ang pwedeng mangulit. He can demand the performance. Si passive ang pwedeng kulitin. See? The O is the object, also known as the prestation. Some call it the conduct. Yan yung to give, to do, or not to do. Siyempre, kailangan lawful. Otherwise, the obligation is invalid. Obligation to give shabu. Wala yan. Obligation is invalid. Obligation to do an illegal act. Obligation is invalid. Kailangan lawful. Must be lawful. Otherwise, the obligation is invalid. The E is the most important. Why? Because E binds together. Nandito class yung dahilan kaya pwede kang pumunta sa court. Yan. Efficient cost. Pero marami siyang terminology kaya kailangan alam mo yung mga synonym niya. Sir, bakit? Kasi ganun talaga sa board exam class. Kuminsan, kanya-kanyang examiner. May examiner na ayaw niyang gamitin ang efficient cost. Ang gagamitin niya ay vinculum juris. Or the synonym. Vinculum juris is the juridical or legal tie. Yun ang mga practitioner talaga ng mga examiner, ng mga lawyer. Ang tawag nila dyan is cause of action. You see? Nandun yung word na cause, Kasi actually ito yung dahilan, bakit ka daw pumunta sa court? Ba't ka ba pumunta sa court? Ano ang dahilan mo para idemanda ako? Ayan, See? Halimbawa, dinimanda mo si Sir Valladolid mo. Sir Valladolid, I am suing you. Ba't mo ako dinidemanda? Suportahan mo ako, Sir Valladolid. Bakit? Dahil ako ay anak mo sa labas. Grabe. Tatay mo pala si Valladolid. Once upon a time. Tatay mo pala si Valladolid. Ano ang cause of action mo? Ang iyong cause of action ay obligation, parental support. See? It's an obligation arising from law. So ito yung pinaka-importante class sa kanila. The efficient cause. Yan ang dahilan bakit. Kasi nandito ang JN. Nandito class ang JN. Kaya pag tinanong ka, sa tatlong elements na yan, nasaan ba si juridical necessity? Nandito si juridical necessity sa letter E. Ito yung dahilan, kaya ikaw, si creditor ay pwede niyang idemanda si passive subject. Yan. So, strictly speaking, therefore, etong efficient cause na ito, yan ang sources of legal obligation. Yes, class. Kasi pag pumunta ka sa court, sasabihin ng court, what is the source of the obligation na ipinipilit mo? Yan. Katulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo. Kung nagdemanda itong si A, dinimanda niya si B dahil siya ay anak sa labas. Halimbawa si Sir Balyamo, dinimanda ng isang bata. Ang kanyang source of action is, ano ang source of obligation niya? Ang source of obligation niya is obligation arising from law. Family code. So, eto. Ngayon. So, when you say, what are the sources of obligation or civil obligation? Yan ang dahilan para pwede ka pumunta sa court to ask for damages. So, yan sila. LC, QC, D, at saka QD. Yan, 5 yan. Yan lang, class, ang sources of obligation, wala nang iba. Wala nang iba. Sila lang. So, isulat muna natin. Okay. Maybe you copy this already. Maybe you copied it already. Law, contract, quasi, contract, delict, and quasi, delict. Law, contract, quasi-contract, delict, and quasi-delict. See, yan lang class ang sources of obligation. Wala nang iba. Lahat. So, obligation arising from law is called, yan ang tinatawag nating legal obligation. Example, the payment of taxes under the NIRC. What is NIRC? The National Internal Revenue Code, also known as the tax code. Or obligation, yung kanina, yung dinimanda ng anak niya, si Valladolid dahil iniwan niya yung kanyang anak. Or pwedeng hindi niya alam na meron pala siyang anak. Once upon a time na nung teenager pa pala si Sir Valladolid niyo, mga 20 years old. Teenager na ba yan? Sige, a little bit above teenager, mga 19, 20, 21. Nung mga panahon na si Sir Valladolid niyo ay malandi pa. Ayan, siya ay lumandi, siya ay na-in-love, pero hindi niya alam na siya pala ay nakabuo. Ayan, Siyempre, lumaki na yung bata, ngayon ay nag-aaral. What is the source of obligation of your Sir Valladolid? Family code. Yan. Family code. Obligation of parents to support their child. Kasi whether legitimate or illegitimate, obligasyon mo yan dahil anak mo yan. See? Ito yung pinakamaraming source plus obligation arising from law. Siyempre, sila yung galing sa Congress. Because Congress is the lawmaking body of the Philippines. Ang Congress natin ay bicameral. The lower house, dapat nasa itaas. So, the upper house and the lower house. The Congress and the Senate. Ito yung mga congressman, ito yung mga senator. Kaya sa Pilipinas class, matagal ang mga batas. Bakit matagal? Kasi ang mga batas natin gagawin muna sa lower house. Pagtapos na sa lower house, bago iakyat sa upper house. Pag ayaw ng upper house, balik sa lower house. Mag-uusap muna sila. So, tumatagal ang batas. Hindi katulad nung panahon ni President Marcos, we have what you call unicameral. Unicameral, from the word uni, isa lang. Tayo ngayon, bicameral. Ayan, bi, kasi dalawa. Matagal ang batas, magastos pa. Really, sir? Yes. It's really a waste of money, strictly speaking. But of course, the Senate will not accept it. They will say, we are more important than the Congress, than the lower house. See? Noon, Yuni lang tayo. Mabilis ang mga batas. Kaya, totoo lang, class. Isa yan sa mga dahilan na dapat baguhin ang Constitution. Anyway, class. Obligation of government employees, the administrative code. Obligation of politicians during campaign period, election code. Obligation of employers, labor code. Yan, napakarami yan. Kaya may mga abogado. Yun ang kanilang master. Then, next is, by the way, legal obligations are not presumed. Ibig sabihin, dapat merong clear law from the government. Government there is care of Congress of the Philippines. Kasi sila yung lawmaking body. Yan, There must be a clear law from the government. Legal obligations are not presumed. Kailangan may klarong batas. Kung walang klarong batas, hindi mo obligasyon yan. Okay. So goodbye number 1. Let's go to number 2. Contracts. What are contracts? Ang tawag dyan ay ito ang tawag sa kanya ay yan. Contractual obligations. Example, sa contract of sales, sa sales, ano ba ang obligation ni vendor? Ano ang obligation ni vendee? Yung seller, ano obligation ni seller? Sa contract of lease, yung rent. Anong obligation ni lessor? Siyempre, i-provide yung property na pinarerentahan. Anong obligation ni lessee? Siyempre, magbayad ng rent. So, ito naman yung sumunod na pinakamaraming source. Katulad sa inyo, anong obligation nyo as a student? To pay the tuition fee. Obligation of the school to provide the teachers. Ginagawa namin is obligation of the school to provide the teachers or reviewers. Yan ang contractual obligations. Contractual obligations. Now, contractual obligations naman, mas mababa ng konti siya sa law. Kaya contracts must not be contracts must not be contrary to law. Ayan. Otherwise, it is invalid. Or, pag contract, otherwise, invalid ang contract or the contract is void. Tulad yan. Nagbentahan sila, pero ang bentahan nila, shabu. May obligation ba si vendor na mag-deliver na shabu? O si vendor na magbayad? See? Parehas silang makukulong. Si vendor makukulong, si vendor makukulong. Sa ibang bansa class, the drug pusher and the drug user, pareho silang criminally liable. You see? Yes, sa ibang bansa, very strict. Sa atin, strict lang kay vendor. Strict lang kay drug pusher. Not so much kay user. Pero sa ibang bansa, lalo na sa Arab countries, nako. Pagka gumamit ka ng drugs, either habang buhay na pagkabilanggo or sa ibang bansa pa class, drug user, death penalty. Si drug pusher at drug user, death penalty pareho. Kaya takot lahat. Sa atin hindi. Ang drug pusher, may penalty. Si drug user, kinaaawaan, nire-rehabilitate. Ang problema, class, normally, ang drug user, nagiging drug pusher din. Anyway, wag na natin pag-usapan. At least nakita nyo lang. Na if it is sales involving illegal item, the contract is void. Let's go to number 3. So, tapos na natin. Kita mo, tapos na yung 1 tsaka 2. So, ano itong tinatawag class nilang hoy, nahulog. What they call quasi-contract. Bakit tinatawag yan na extra contractual obligation? Because there is really no contract. See? Wala talagang kontrata. Kaya nga quasi as if meron pero wala talaga. Only in the eyes of law lang nagkakaroon ng contract. In the eyes of law, there is a contract. And the purpose is to prevent UE. So, yan ang keyword sa quasi-contract. Pag nakita nyo yung word na UE na yan, quasi-contract na yan. What is UE here? UE. Yan ang UE class. Unjust. Unjust. Ah? Unjust enrichment. Yan. Oh, to the end that no person shall be unjustly enriched at the expense of another. Yan ang concept dyan. Ayan, no person shall be unjustly enriched at the expense of another. Yan ang word. Pwedeng justly, wag lang unjustly. Ayaw ng batas na nanglalamang ka sa kapwa mo. See? Maraming concept class, maraming examples ng unjust enrichment class. Yun lang kapitbahay mo. Your neighbor, nagkaroon ng fire, tinulungan mo o tinulungan nyo. Along the way, ikaw na tumulong, nagkaroon ng injury. Duty ba nung may-ari na tinulungan mo na to shoulder the hospitalization expenses? Yes, dahil kaya ka nagkaroon ng injury dahil sa pagtulong mo sa kanya. See? CPA ka na. Kumikita ka. Naawa ka doon sa pamangkin mo, anak ng pinsan mo. Dahil not very lucky, yung kanyang husband na wala ng trabaho. Siya wala din. Okay. Ilang naka-full screen. Okay, class. So, balik tayo. Humina yung signal. That's a problem kuminsan with, you know, that's a problem with, okay. So, yes. So, dito na tayo sa unjust enrichment. No person shall be unjustly enriched at the expense of another. Oh, so yun yung sabi ko sa inyo kanina, biglang nanalo sa sweepstakes or lotto or biglang nagkaroon ng substantial wealth yung pinsan mo. Yumaman sila ng todo. Oh, alam nyo class, under this concept, you can compel. Kung gusto mo kung gusto mo, you can demand reimbursement. Reimbursement for the expenses that you paid. Para do sa pamangkin mo. Dahil hindi yan obligasyon. Hindi obligasyon class ng uncle or auntie na papag-aralin ng kanyang pamangkin. See? Pero kung ayaw mo naman, ayaw mo magpa-reimburse dahil it is an act of generosity or kindness on your part, then that is deemed a donation. Deemed a donation. See? Okay. But of all the different kinds of contract, QC, ang pinaka-popular na QC ay dalawa. Yung tinatawag nilang yan, NG. SI muna. Yung tinatawag nilang SI at saka NG. And what is SI? SI is Solutio Indebiti. And NG is Negotiorum. Negotiorum Hestio. So, dito muna tayo mag-focus sa SI, Solutio Indebiti. Solutio Indebiti here is yan siya class. Payment by mistake. So what are the requisites of payment by mistake? Number one, a payor, sometimes called debtor, pays the payee. Nagbayad siya. Also creditor. Number two, the payee or creditor accepted it. Pero number three, but payee or creditor has no legal right to accept. Sir, bakit? Maraming pwedeng dahilan, but wala siyang legal right. Example, the obligation was, yung obligation was extinguished already na hindi niya alam. Halimbawa, nag-prescribe na pala. Or pwedeng may bagong batas na yung obligasyon na yan ay invalid or illegal. You see? Or pwedeng may bagong court decision na hindi na dapat siyang may karapatan. Halimbawa, nagre-rent sa bahay. Nagbabayad ka kay lessor. Yung pala, itong binabayaran mo, hindi siya yung tunay. Kamag-anak lang, hindi pala yun ang tunay na may-ari nung nirerentahan mo. O, may court decision na doon ka dapat magbayad kay A, doon ka nagbabayad kay C. O, C? Nagbabayad ka pa rin kay C. Or pwedeng hindi, obligation is not yet due. Akala mo due. So, on the part of the creditor, tinanggap mo, creditor, ang hindi mo dapat tanggapin. Anong obligasyon mo? So, obligation of creditor or payee is to return it. Yan. Including the fruits or income or interest thereof from date of acceptance. From the time na tinanggap niya na wala siyang karapatang tanggapin. See? That is the concept of solusio indebiti. Iyan ang source of tax refund rule. Tinanggap ng BIR ang wala silang karapatang tanggapin kasi nga nag-overpay ka ng tax. Kaya nga may tinatawag tayong tax refund. Although, dahil nga ayaw ng BIR na irresponsible ka naman sa pagbayad kasi bayad ka ng bayad na sumusobra, tapos kukulitin mo sila, sa taxation class, ang tax refund 2 years lang. Beyond 2 years, no more. Hindi katulad sa atin, normally sa law, 10 years ang prescription. 10 years. Pagka written obligations or contracts, magpiprescribe yan 10 years. After 10 years, wala ka ng right mag-demand. Kasi dito, nagbayad ka ng sobra, naalala mo, after few years, you can demand the return. More popular is the other one. The other one is NG. I will erase it now, class. NG is, yan ang NG. Negosyorum gestio. Also known as unauthorized. Yan unauthorized management. Ibig sabihin dito, there is a property. A property is either yan, neglected or abandoned. Number 2. Yan hindi pwedeng yung abandoned niya temporary lang. Ibig sabihin meron pa siyang planong bumalik. Kasi kung wala siyang planong bumalik, ay hindi na pwede. Neglected or temporarily abandoned lang. Then a third person decided to handle the management. Yan. They decided to handle the management of the above property. Pero be careful, the management must have these 3 characteristics. At pwedeng itanong sa board exam yan. Isang mawala dito sa tatlong ito, especially the first, hindi na yan negosyorum gestio. Love. Parang word love. Parang kanta, love moves. Love moves. Love moves in mysterious ways. I love you. Love. It must be. See that? Lawful. So, kung halimbawa may kapitbahay si A. Kapitbahay ni A, Ito si A, ito si B. Parehong farm lot. Si B pumunta sa Amerika. Inabot siya ng 3 months bago nakabalik or 6 months. Ang ginawa ni A, si A muna ang nag-manage dito sa farm lot ni B. Pag bumalik si B, pwedeng mag-demand si A ng payment for his efforts. Basta lawful ang pag-manage ni A. Kasi baka naman nung minanage ni A yung property ni B na pumunta sa Amerika, ang ginawa ni A, ginawa niyang distribution area ng shabu. Hindi po pwede. It is unlawful management. The management must be lawful and it is unilateral. Ibig sabihin, wala silang pinag-usapan and it is voluntary. Hindi yung may pumilit sa kanya. Pero very important ang number 3, class. As a result of the management by the third person, the owner was enriched. Yan He was enriched or benefited. Na-benefit siya. And they have no contract. No contract between them. between the owner and the third person. Then you will ask me, sir, paano po kung may contract sila? Eh di hindi yan quasi-contract. Pupunta yan sa letter C, babalik siya sa contract. See? Kaya nga quasi-contract eh, walang kontrata. Kaya lang may kontrata sa mata ng batas as if meron kasi ayaw ng batas na kawawa naman eto ang kawawa dito. Kasi nag-effort siya. Lawful naman yung ginawa niya. In good faith naman siya. Nakinabang naman si owner. Hindi pwede sabihin ni owner. Halimbawa, bumalik na si B. At dahil sa management ni A, kumita si B ng income. Kumita si B ng income na 5 million. Oh, kita mo? Oh, ang expenses ay 2 million with all the receipts. Tinago ni A. Pero sabi ni AB, hindi ko pa kasama, hindi ko pa isinama dyan yung efforts ko. Sabi ni B, sige, ako nang bahala. O kinabukasan, binigyan niya ng 10,000. O, tama ba yon? Tama ba yon? Kumita ka ng 5 million. Actually, ang kinita mo, net na 3 million. B, kumita ka ng 3 million dahil sa effort ni A. Tapos, bibigyan mo siya ng 10,000 lang, pang-Jollibee mo, o kaya pang-pizza mo. Tapos, nung sabi ni A, B naman, mukha namang unfair yan. Ang sabi lang ni B, anong unfair? Hindi ko naman sinabi sa'yo na bantayan mo. O, kita mo, class? O, yun nga, doon papasok ang batas. Sasabihin ng batas, oo nga, B. Hindi nga sinabi nung kapwa mo. Pero nagmagandang loob naman yung kapitbahay. At nakinabang ka naman. Mabuti sana kung hindi ka nakinabang. Kung nalugi ka, pwede mo sabihin na, mabuti pa, hindi mo na lang minanage yan. Malulugi nga lang. Nalugi pa nga ako eh. Better pa nga na hindi mo na lang inaayos yan. Eto, nakinabang ka naman. See? So you pay him, Okay. So yun yung concept. You pay him a just compensation. Kaya dito class, sa quasi-contract, the third person can demand payment for his efforts. This payment is what you call just compensation. And plus reimbursement. Reimbursement, if any, for his valid expenses, kung meron man. Yan. That means, class, dito sa, yung may copy mo na for all. That means, class, dito sa quasi-contract, si third person ang nagiging creditor. At si owner ang nagiging debtor. Kasi si debtor ang merong duty to perform. Si debtor ang merong obligation. Si third person ang may binibigyan ng batas na pwede magdemanda. Okay. Now, kung minsan, ang tinatanong dito ay, ano ang other words kay third person? Third person is also known as the gestor. Pag nakita mo yung word na gestor, yan siya. Also known as the, yan siya, officious manager. So when you see these words, gestor, officious manager, yan si third person. Siya yung creditor sa negosyorum gestio. Or what you call payment by me, rather unauthorized management. The third person can demand payment for his efforts. What we call just compensation. Okay? You see? Tapos na natin si QC. So let's go now to D. Delic. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan class. Obligations arising from delic. Delic. So delic here means acts. So acts or omissions. Dapat mong gawin na hindi mo ginawa. You ought to do it, but you did not do it. Ito naman, you did it. And it is punishable by going to prison. Of course, plus damages. Ito yung civil. Based on the legal maxim. Based on Article 100 of the Revised Penal Code. Yan ang source ng class. A person criminally liable is also, para kayo nitong mga law students class, is also civilly liable. See? Ibig sabihin, crimes produce to effect. The person will go to prison plus he will pay damages to the victim or offended person. So itong go to person, yan yung criminal liability. Itong paid damages, yan yung civil liability. Crime of murder, crime of rape, physical injuries, binugbog siya. Binugbog nyo si Sir Valladolid nyo. Si Sir Gloria nyo. At saka si Sir Costa nyo. Pinagtulungan na si Sir Valladolid. Nagkataon lasing si Sir Valladolid nyo. So hindi nakalaban. Kasi kung hindi lasing, delikado sila kay Sir Valia nyo. Bakit? Si Sir Valladolid nyo is a Kung Fu Master. Kaso lang lasing. So makukulong si Sir Gloria nyo at saka si Sir Costa nyo. At magbabayad pa sila ng damages. Yan. The act. Sir, yung omission. Well, an example of omission classes, iniwa. Yan. Yung failure. Failure to give parental support. Ngayong class, Ngayon, pag iniwan ng isang tatay without without lawful ground ang kanyang pamilya at hindi siya nagbigay ng enough support sa kanila, that is abuse against women and children. May criminal liability yan. It is a form of abuse. Your abandonment of your family is an omission that can produce imprisonment. Hindi lang family code. Kasi family code, civil law yan. Merong republica. Punishing. And the courts are very fast in issuing warrant of arrest sa mga tatay. Sa mga tatay na inabandon ang kanilang pamilya. Without lawful ground. Hindi siya nagbigay ng support. So yan ang delic. Ang tawag dito sa delic actually ay obligations arising from delic they are called civil obligations arising from crimes. So yun yung crimes, yun yung delic. Yun yung acts or omissions which are punishable by law with imprisonment based on that legal maxim of the Revised Penal Code that the person criminally liable is also civilly liable. Yan. Finally, last. Dito na tayo. Kita nyo? Natapos na natin ang isang chapter. Okay. Quasi-delic. Ang quasi-delic naman ay civil obligations arising from, arising from negligence. Another word for that is imprudence. Lack of foresight, lack of skill. Kung minsan, sa garapalang salita, dahil sa katangahan niya, nagkaroon siya ng obligation. Katangahan yan. Example, in a vehicular accident. Accident yan. Ibig sabihin, hindi sinasadya. But, ayan the driver was found to be driving recklessly. That is a form of imprudence. That is a form of negligence. Habang nagdadrive ka, nagsa-cellphone ka, kumakain ka pa ng pansit. Sipin mo. Bakit? Kitang-kita nung nilapitan ng pulis. Nagkalat yung pansit sa lap mo. Yan Kumakain ka pala ng pansit Nagdadrive ka, nagsa-cellphone ka pa kaya tuloy na bundol mo kaya nabangga mo yung puwet ng sasakyan na nasa harapan mo. Di magbabayad ka ng damages. Ang matindi niya pag nakapatay. Pag nakapatay class, may kulong. Kasi yung combination na yun ng delic at saka quasi-delic. Pag nakapatay siya, ang tawag doon, reckless imprudence resulting to homicide. May kulong yun, pero ang kulong niya hindi katulad ng kulong ng mga talagang with criminal intent, like murder. Mahaba talaga ang kulong noon. Number of years. Yung mga reckless imprudence resulting to homicide, kuminsan pinag-uusapan nila yan. Bago magdemandahan, para hindi makulong yung tao, nagbabayad na lang sa pamilya. Magbabayad din siya sa pulis para ayusin ng pulis. Yung pulis ang mag-aayos, sasabihin ng pulis, hindi naman ang sinasadya Pag hindi ka naglagay sa pulis, sorry ka. Police or investigator. Sila yung makikiusap doon sa kabilang party. Hindi naman ang sinasadya. Bigla na lang may nadaanan. Biglang sumabog yung gulong. Although class, mga public utility vehicles class, yung mga bus, yung mga jeep, mga taxi, sumabog na gulong, nawala ng brake, is not considered fortuitous event. Kasi kung ikaw ay nasa public utility business, dapat ikaw ay extra careful. Hindi lang ordinary diligence, but extraordinary. Anyway, this quasi-delic is also known as obligation arising from torts. Kaya pag nakita mo yung word na torts, yun din yun. Pag nakita mo yung word na civil negligence, yun din yun. O kaya pag nakita mo yung word na culpa, aquiliana, yun din yun. Prepreho lang. See? So, sir, what's really the difference between delic and quasi-delic? Discuss natin ng konti. Delic versus quasi-delic. In delic, there is criminal intent. Dito, there is no criminal intent. Only imprudence, negligence, lack of foresight, lack of skill. Dito, with imprisonment. Dito, no. You will not go to prison, but you will pay damages only. Dito, with imprisonment plus with damages also. Because that's what I told you a while ago. A person, nabura na natin kanina, yung Article 100 of the Revised Penal Code, a person criminally liable is also civilly liable. So that finishes. That finishes already the sources of civil obligation. Law, contract, quasi-contract, delict, and quasi-delict. Okay? Nakadalawang chapter na tayo, class. Take note, Nakadalawang chapter na tayo kung sinusundan natin yung libro sa obligations and contracts. Kaya lang tayo mabilis dahil wala tayong recitation. Kasi kung may recitation tayo, ay, nandun pa lang tayo siguro sa obligation arising from law. See? Ganyan. How recitation will waste the time in the class. Wala ka pang natutunan, napahiya ka pa kung hindi ka nakasagot. Double black eye, no? Actually, tatlo. Wala ka natutunan, dahil hindi ka nakasagot, napahiya ka, nagbayad ka pa ng tuition fee. Ayan, class. Well, anyway, so that finishes the sources of obligation. So we can go to remedies now. Remedies. Another 2 chapters ito. So, ibig sabihin na easy class. Pag natapos natin itong remedies, for this brief period of time, 4 chapters tayo. See? Don't you notice it? You are learning the concept. Me, without telling you anong article yan. Dahil hindi naman tinatanong sa board exam yung mga article na yan. Pero ang tinatanong, ano yung laman ng article? Application of the article or section of the law. So what are the hindi pa pala, sorry, not yet remedies. What are the another 2 chapters rather, what are the obligations of the debtor? Also known as the obligor. Yan, and the possessor. So depende ang class obligation. Tatlo yan. Obligation, to give, to do, at saka not to do. Although kasama dyan ang not to give. Mas tinatanong to sa board exam. Kaya mas may time tayo dyan. Pagka obligation to give ang nakita mo sa board exam, ang una mong i-check, is that obligation to give a determinate thing or in determinate thing. Determinate is also known as specific. This one is also known as generic. So, malalaman mo ang determinate because it is only one. See, only one. Example, my horse. My only horse. Kasi kung marami akong horses, hindi po pwede. My horse. My Toyota. My Toyota car. Indeterminate. Marami sila. There are many of them. Example, a Toyota. A Toyota. Yung magandang Toyota. Isa sa pinakamaganda na Toyota. A Toyota Camry. Yan. Favorite ni Sir Balix nyo sa Sipar. Yan ang kanyang favorite na kotse. Actually, ang Toyota Camry, yan yung Toyota Corona. Toyota Corona noon. Hindi Corolla, Toyota Corona. Toyota Corona yata, yes. Yan yung, oh. After Toyota Camry, ang pinakamaganda na dyan ay Toyota Lexus. Ano? Oh. So, pag sinabi mong a Toyota Camry, a Toyota Vios, a Toyota Innova, you are referring to the class where it belongs. Kaya marami sila. Hindi katulad dito, only one. Okay. Kahit na sabi mo Toyota, a Toyota, a Toyota Camry, pero lagyan mo ng with plate number. Pag nilagyan mo ng plate number yan, magiging determinate na yan. Nag-iisa na lang siya. Hindi katulad nito, a Toyota Camry, marami sila. See the word? Marami sila. At dahil marami sila, sila ay hindi nawawala. Hindi nawawala ang marami. Bakit? Marami nga eh. Hindi katulad dito, ito lang ang nawawala. So, class, only determinate class can be lost due to fortuitous event. Ang generic, dahil nga marami sila, cannot be lost by fortuitous event. Dahil nga marami sila. Ang tawag dyan, genus. Genus. Nunquam. Perit. Ayan. The generic never perish. See? The generic never perish. Hindi nawawala ang marami. Dahil marami nga. Ibig sabihin, marami kang pagpipilian. Halimbawa, meron kang 10 boyfriends. Mawala man ang isa, sabihin mo, mabuti nga. At least nabawasan ng konti. Sumasakit na rin ang ulo ko. Mayat maya, nahihirapan ako mag-schedule. Mayat maya, kumisan, sabay-sabay pa nagre-request ng date. See? Kung nag-iisa lang ang iyong boyfriend at nawala siya sa buhay mo, siyempre malulungkot ka. Kasi wala na. Sasabihin mo, nobody loves me. Kakanta ka na ng, anong kakantahin mo? Why does the sun go on shining? Da, 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 da. Don't they know it's the end of the world? O kaya kakantahin mo yung knife cuts like a knife. How will I ever heal? I'm so deeply wounded knife. Yan. Inaali ko lang yung sarili ko, class, ha? Di ba, pagka CPA na kayo, pag pumasa kayo lahat sabay-sabay, basta pumasa kayong lahat, lalo na kung sabay-sabay, kung 100%, o kaya, bakit? Pwede namang 100%, Bakit sa Lasal? When I was there in Lasal, there was a time na 100% kami. 75 out of 75. Sir Lasal yan, wala namang pinagkaiba. Bakit ba? Kung kaya nila. Hindi niya kaya? Pare-pareho lang naman kayong anak ng Diyos. Yung iba doon, di pa nagdadasal ng todo. Ikaw, mas matindi ang dasal mo. Di all the more na dapat tulungan ka ng Diyos. Halimbawa, pumasa kayo lahat. Pilitin natin ngayon si Sir Cordova ninyo. Si Dean Cordova. Sir, 100% kami. Testimonial namin sa Manila Hotel. Sa Manila Hotel, magkakantahan tayo ngayon. Una natin pakantahin si Sir Valladolid yun dahil magaling kumanta si Sir Valladolid yun. Anong kanta favorite niya? Isusulat ko, Ito, class, ang kanyang favorite na kanta. Kayang-kaya niyang kantahin yan. Just once. Just once. Si Ate Jaja niyo, magaling din kumanta yan, Kaya niyang kantahin lang. Yan, kaya niyang kantahin yan. Top of the world. Si Sir Gloria niyo, magaling din kumanta yan. Anong kanta? Bayang Magiliw. Joke lang, class. Hindi ko makanta si Sir, Sir Gloria niyo. Tumutula lang. Okay, class. Okay, so genus non quam perit. The generic never perish. Ayun, totoo yun, ha? Pagkalag 100% kayo, may top notcher pa, magpapa testimonial tayo sa Manila Hotel. Kakausapin natin si Sir Cordoba ninyo. Doon ang testimonial, ang tawag doon testimonial dinner class. You can bring, you are entitled to bring your parents, your mama and your papa. At kung sila ay hindi available, maybe at least one representative of the family, maybe your elder brother or your uncle. See? All expenses paid by the school. See, class? Hindi katulad nito can be lost due to fortuitous event. Ang tawag dyan, class, na legal. Kasi itong mga legal maxim na to, ito yung mga hindi po pwedeng hindi nyo alam. Hindi naman lahat ng mga Latin words kailangan alam nyo. Pero yung mga very popular, kailangan alam nyo. Yan yung naririnig nyo na res perit domino. Res means the thing. Perit, ayan, to perish. Domino means the owner. So the thing, ayan, ibig niya sabihin, thing perishes with the owner. Okay. And it is for determinator specific. Only determinator specific can be lost due to fortuitous event. The indeterminator generic cannot be lost because of this. Genus nunquam perit. The generic never perish. So, dito muna tayo sa determinate, ha? Focus tayo sa determinate. So, sa determinate kasi class, sa determinate kasi, there are two obligations. Yung tinatawag nilang principal obligation at yung tinatawag nilang law. Ano yung law? Law means legal accessory obligation. So what is the principal obligation pagdating sa determinate? Siyempre to deliver the determinate thing na pinangako mo. Example yon, ha? My Toyota Camry or a Toyota Camry with plate number, ilagay mo yung plate number dyan. Or my only horse. O kaya my Chihuahua dog. Kaya meron kang husky. So, my husky. Pero yung law, meron. So, itong law, even if not stipulated, kasama sila. Ibig sabihin, automatic silang kasama. Unless stipulated to the contrary. Yan, ha? So, ano yung law? Tatlo yung law. Ano yung first na law? To deliver the accession or the accessories also. Accession para yan sa mga real property. Example sa land. Kung land, isasama mo ba yung improvement sa lupa na yan? Yes. Halimbawa sa lupa na yan, may nakatayong warehouse. Kasama ba yung warehouse sa lupa na yan? Ibibigay mo? Yes, kahit hindi pinag-usapan. Unless stipulated to the contrary. Sir, ano ibig sabihin ng unless stipulated to the contrary? Halimbawa, ibibigay ko sa iyo yung lupa na yan, pero hindi kasama yung warehouse. Yung warehouse, ang may-ari niyan, pinsan ko. Kung pwede, kausapin mo siya. Total naman, willing siyang ibenta din yan at a very reasonable, at a very low price. So, yun, pinag-usapan natin. And kailangan reduce in writing, stipulated. Kailangan isulat. Mas maganda para klaro. Kausapin mo siya, I'm giving to you that land located in this address. Kaya specific, kasi binigay mo yung address ng lupa. Pero may improvement siya na warehouse, hindi akin yan. Nagtayo niya na uncle ko, kausapin mo. Accessories naman para sa mga personal property katulad ng kotse, yung kanyang mga important parts. Yung kanyang side mirror, yung kanyang gulong. Pwede ka bang magbigay ng kotse na walang gulong? O kaya sira ang gulong? Kukumpel ka na magbigay din ng tamang gulong. Unless sinabi mo, bibigyan kita ng kotse, pero luma na yung dalawang gulong niya sa harapan. Ibili mo na lang ng bago. Di stipulated. Because if not stipulated, automatic nakasama si accession para sa mga real property or si accessories normally para sa mga personal property. Accessions are the improvements on that property. Accessories, those which are important parts of that, making it complete as a whole. Yun yun eh. Second, to deliver the fruits. Tinatanong din sa board exam yan at tatlo yung fruits. What are the fruits? Natural fruits, industrial fruits, at yung tinatawag nilang civil fruits. Civil fruits. Natural fruits, without human intervention. Example, the baby. The baby of an animal. Tulad niyan, kung cat. The kitten. Meow, meow, meow. Pagka dog. Puppy. The puppy. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. Or puppy. The puppy. Galing ko kaya yung aking puppy. May puppy ako dito. Kasi baby pa. 5 months. Pero malaki. Kasi American Bully. Yun, nandun sa baba, maingay. Industrial naman, because of efforts. Example, the harvest. The harvest of a farm. Okay. Civil naman, because of human, because of civil relations. Example, rent income out of a contract of lease. Yan sila. So, pag sinabi mong natural, without human intervention. Ito, with human intervention or with human efforts or industry. Ito naman, as a result of civil relations, like lease. So, what is important here sa fruits? What is the cut-off date? Answer. Pagdating sa fruits, from time obligation to deliver arises. From time obligation to deliver arises. So it is the date of delivery. Date of delivery ang class. So, example, inalis ko na lang si principal. Si A, nangako kay B to deliver my horse on December 25, 2023, Christmas Day, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. For the fields we go, laughing all the way. Burn na klase. Kaya wala na. Masaya na. Kita nyo sa mga mall? Wala na. Burn na. Pasko na naman. Kahit huli ng araw. So, my horse on December 25. Letter A. Nagkaroon ng baby yung horse November 30, 2023. Sino ang owner? Answer, si A pa rin. See? Pero letter B, nagkaroon ng baby December 26, 2023. Sino ang owner? O kaya December 25. Sino ang owner? Si B na ang may-ari. Because obligation to deliver, no nagkaroon ng fruits, on or after obligation to deliver arose. Yan ang general rule. Sir, paano po kung December 25? Owner si B. But C sold it. Yan, Owner si B. But A sold and delivered to C. Oh, who is the rightful owner? Basta nilagay na si P, si C ay buyer in good faith. Si C has better right. But B can sue A for damages. Yan. Kasi nung binenta mo yan, ako na may-ari. Ba't mo binenta sa iba without even informing me? So I can sue you for damages. But law will protect C kung nakalagay sa problem na C is a buyer in good faith. And for value. Okay. So that's the rule, ha? Cut off date, pagdating sa fruits, from time obligation to deliver arises. That is the rule. Class, yan ang rule. Uy. Pero for every rule, merong exception. Except. Okay, may exception. So itong exception na to, kailangan alam nyo. Sige, kopyahin nyo muna yan. Kasi di-discuss natin tong exception. Yung mga exception, normally class, yan yung mga pang-top notcher eh. Pero hindi mo rin masabi. Yan yung pagka-careful ka, pwedeng hindi mo mapansin sa board exam. That's why ang law, kailangan binabasa mo yan slowly but surely before you formulate your answer. Okay. So, ano yung exception? So, to deliver the accessions and the accessories, no? Deliver the accession and the accessories. So, exception. Except in contract of sale because the buyer is entitled sa fruits from perfection of contract of sale. And the perfection is the meeting of the minds, not the date of delivery. Sir, paano po namin malalaman na sale ang ginamit? Ay, sale ang applicable. Pag ang ginamit na word ay buyer or seller, vendor, vendee. Pero pag ginamit na word, obligor, obligee, donor, donee, general rule yan. Take note, ha? So, malalaman mo kung exception to the rule number 1, sale, pag ang ginamit ay word na sale. Now, kung hindi mo ginamit yung word na sale, pwede mo gamitin, hanapin yung word na buyer. Pag nakita mo, or vendor, vendee, purchaser. The other exception is if another basis is stipulated by the parties. Kasi pwede sila mag-usap na kahit na December 25 ko i-deliver. Pero pag nanganak yan mula ngayon, halimbawa ngayong September, anytime manganak na yan, pag nanganak yan ng 2, hati tayo. Pag nanganak ng 3, mas marami sa'yo. Isa sa akin, 2 sa'yo. Pwede lang pag-usapan. See? Another basis is stipulated. Pero kung wala silang pinag-usapang class, the general rule will apply. From time obligation to deliver arises. The creditor is entitled to the fruits. Pero pag ginamit na buyer, hindi ka gagamit ng date of delivery. Ang gagamitin mo, date of perfection of contract of sale. Perfection is the date of the meeting of the minds of the parties. Or when another basis is stipulated. Third exception, a third law. Kita mo, may third law pa. So I will erase this portion. So what is the third law? The third law is to, this is the third law. Pending delivery. Oh, I will erase this class na. Pending delivery, kailangan take care of the thing with the diligence of a good, young class, good father of a family. Yan ang gahanapin mo na word. But it is also known as ordinary diligence. Or due diligence. Due diligence. Sir, pwede bang diligence of a good father of a very good family? Or the diligence of a very good father of a very good family? Pwede rin. Pero pag silent, ito yung degree na gagamitin mo. Kasi class, ito yan yung minimum degree, however. So, hindi pwedeng mag-usap ng less than this degree. Alam mo, nilagay sa problem. The diligence less than the diligence of a good father of a family. Void yung kuha na yun. Hindi void yung contract. Void yung diligence na pinag-usapan. Mag-a-apply yung diligence na minimum. The diligence of a good father of a family. But again, this is only the rule. So, meron na namang exception. Oo, meron na namang exception class. So, what is the exception? The diligence of a good father of a family, which is also known as the ordinary diligence rule. Except 1 na naman tsaka 2. Law provides a higher degree. Yan Law provides a higher degree or the parties stipulated a higher degree. Example ng higher degree, extra ordinary diligence para sa mga public utility vehicles. See? So take note, that is an exception to the rule. The rule is ordinary diligence lang. That is the minimum degree. So that means pwede nilang pag-usapan higher degree, pero hindi nila pwedeng pag-usapan lower degree. Dito, parties stipulated a higher degree. They cannot stipulate on a lower degree than this. That would be void or invalid. Okay, so those are the 3 laws. To deliver the accession or the accessories. Second, to deliver the fruits, yung natural fruits, industrial fruits, and civil fruits. And number 3, pending delivery, to take care of the thing with the diligence of a good father of a family, which we call ordinary diligence or due diligence. Pagdating sa fruits, remember the rule and the exception to the rule. Take note, the rule is from time obligation to deliver arises. Exception to the rule, dalawa. In contract of sale, buyer is entitled to deliver fruits. The buyer is entitled to receive the fruits, rather, not to deliver. To receive the fruits from time of the perfection of the contract of sale. And number 2 exception is when they stipulated another basis. Third exception, a third law or legal accessory obligation, pending delivery, to take care of the thing with the diligence of a good father of a family. The rule and the exception to the rule, except when law provides for a higher degree or the parties stipulated a higher degree. Okay? So take note sa determinate yung class. So that means, pagdating sa to give, therefore, if it is a determinate thing, there are two obligations. The principal obligation and the law. Pagdating kasi sa indeterminate, sa indeterminate thing, isa lang. Principal obligation only. There is no law. Ayan ha, class? Pagdating sa indeterminate thing, principal obligation only. There is no law. So what is the principal obligation pagdating sa indeterminate thing? To deliver the quantity and quality agreed upon or stipulated. Yan. There is no law. Pagdating sa quality, if not mentioned, average quality is okay. Superior, not inferior. That is the rule. Not inferior, not superior. Kaya pag sinabing, I will give you a cellphone, siguro kahit na anong ordinaryong cellphone, pwede. Ordinary Samsung will do. Huwag ka mag-demand ng iPhone. Pag sinabing cellphone, huwag ka mag-demand ng iPhone because iPhone is superior. Siguro ordinary Samsung. Kung Samsung naman, huwag kang mag-demand na yung pinakamahal na Samsung. Siguro yung average na Samsung, you can buy for 7, 8, 9,000. Hindi yung Samsung na worth 20,000 o worth 50,000. Huwag naman sobrang inferior. Bumili ka ng cellphone na pangalan Adidas. Ano to? Cellphone? Adidas. Estimated useful life, 2 weeks. Masyado namang inferior yun. So, pag hindi pinag-usapan ng quality, if not mentioned, then average quality is okay or will do. Not superior, not inferior. Pero kung, halimbawa, napag-usapan yung quality o any iPhone, binanggit eh. So again, sa to give, only determinate ang may law. Indeterminate, walang law, principal obligation lang. Siyempre, sa obligation to do, obligation of debtor is to perform what he promised to do. Siyempre. Example, build a house or build a dog house. Build a dog house for you and your dog. Malaki yung dog mo. Your dog mo is a giant German Shepherd. Ito na iba sa lahat, class. Yung obligation not to do. Example, not to build a structure in that lot. That is obligation not to do.
So dito, ito yung naiiba sa lahat. Bakit? Yan yung obligation na there is no delay. There is no delay in obligation not to do. We call it negative obligation. Because all you have to do is do not do. So what is the obligation? Obligation of debtor here is to avoid what was prohibited. To refrain from doing what is prohibited, or another word, what is forbidden. Important thing for you to remember, class, siya na yung obligation na walang delay. No delay in obligation not to do. Because all you have to do is do not do. Okay? You see? Tapos natin ang obligation of the parties. Obligation of the debtor. Sabi, may time pa tayo. May time pa tayo to remedies. Nakadalawang chapter ulit tayo. Isang chapter for remedies. So, let's talk about breach of obligation. Nandito yung remedies kasi, class. So, yan. Breach of obligation is actually, it covers three. Tatlo yan. Non-performance. Hindi niya ginawa ang dapat niyang gawin. Non-performance. Pwede ring poor performance. Pangit ang pagkagawa. Or pwede ring incomplete ang performance. Puro kasama yan sa tinatawag nating breach of obligation. Non-performance, poor performance, or incomplete performance of a valid and demandable. Valid and demandable obligation. Demandable. Kasi ibig sabihin, due date na niya. Kasi hanggat hindi pa due date, hindi pa demandable yan. O, nasaan na yung pinagagawa kong bahay sa'yo? Di ba nangako ka? Oo, pero next year pa naman ha. Tingnan mo yung usapan natin. Tingnan ko, nakalagay, maliwanag ha. 2024, hindi 2023. So wala pang breach of obligation dahil hindi pa siya demandable. Ibig sabihin ng demandable, due date already. Due date already. Yun. So, breach of obligation. Now, hindi naman porke may breach of obligation, automatic liable na. For a while, class, ha? For a while. Yes, partner. class, sorry. Okay, so, balik tayo ha. Hindi porke may breach of obligation, automatic may remedies. So, you ask, is it with, baka naman without debtor's fortune. Kung hindi niya kasalanan. Example, due to fortuitous event. Oh. Kung without debtor's fault, the obligation is extinguished. There is no remedy. Ang tawag dyan, ang remedy CTE, charge to experience. Pasensya siya. Hindi sinasadya eh. Di ba, class? Pero kung with debtor's fault, ayan, class. Papasok ang enter creditors remedies. Papasok ang creditors remedies with debtor's fault. So, what are the creditors remedies? So, yun ang ating next topic. What are the creditors remedies? The remedies are subdivided into principal remedies and secondary. Principal remedies, also known as primary remedies, and what you call subsidiary remedies, also known as secondary remedies. Okay, so what are the principal remedies? Tayo ngayon, ha? I-summarize natin, class, let us summarize the principal remedies. Ito ang ito, class, ang principal or primary remedies. Tatlo yan. 1, 2, 3. Action 4, specific performance. Lagyan nyo ng 4 na column, ha? Determinate thing, generic thing, to do, at saka not to do. Okay. So, specific performance, substituted performance, and pangatlo, class, equivalent performance. Ito, class, para lang to sa determinating. Hindi yan pwede sa tatlo. Kasi specific eh. Nag-iisa lang yan eh. Only one. So the remedy here is ask debtor to deliver. Ask mo si debtor to deliver the specific. To deliver the specific thing. Yun. Ito naman yung, dahil marami sila, you ask a third person. Yan, ha? You ask a third person to deliver. at debtors expense. Yan ang substituted. Oh, hindi naman pwede yan dito. Para yan dito. Kasi many source. Many sila. So, para dito. Kung ano yung pwede dito, pwede na rin sa to-do at saka not-to. Kasi ito lang tatandaan nyo. Yung specific, para lang sa determinative. Walang substituted performance sa determinative. Ito yung pwede sa lahat. Equivalent performance. Check, 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 check. Pwede sa lahat. Yun yung cash na lang. Convert the obligation to cash. Yun yung perahin na lang. Although dito sa to-do, in addition, kung poorly done, it can be undone at debtors expense. Dito naman sa not to do, can be undone also. Halimbawa, ang usapan, huwag kang magtayo ng structure dyan. O naglagay pa rin siya ng permanent structure. O can be undone at debtors expense also. Ito naman, yung ginawa niya, pangit. O, pwede mong ipasira. Can be undone at debtors. Okay, so yan ang mga principal remedies. Itong equivalent performance class, kasama dito yung tinatawag nilang includes action for damages. So, kailangan alam nyo kung ano yung damages. At dahil tinatanong din sa board exam yan, yan ang different kinds of damages. Moral, laging may S yung class ha? Laging may S. Remove the S at hindi na yan damage. Hindi na yan. Iba ng meaning nun. The damage created by the typhoon. You don't say the damages created by the typhoon. It's a legal terminology. So you say moral damages, exemplary damages, nominal damages, temporary damages, actual damages, and liquidated damages. Yan sila mental. Yan yung tinatawag nilang mental. Mental. Exemplary is also known as punitive damages. So pag nakita mo yung word na punitive, yun din siya. Ito naman actual damages, also known as compensatory damages. Okay, normally mag-partner yan. Yan ang mag-partner. Although mga most important sila. 1, 2, Meal yan eh. Meal ang pinaka-importante. Ito sila. So, itong moral damages ay payment for the moral injuries. Like sleepless nights. Yan, example, yung tinatawag nilang wounded feelings. Grabe, ah. Wounded feelings. Besmirched reputation. Sleepless nights. Yan, class. Ito naman ay payment for the social injuries. Napahiya. Although, kaya mag-partner yan dalawang yan. Normally, you can only ask, normally yan dalawang yan magkasama, moral and exemplary damages. Pag napahiya ka for the social injury, wounded feelings mo din. Para hindi pa marisan. Yan yung word, para hindi pa marisan. Ito naman payment for pag may nakita kang payment for rights violated, karapatan na na-violate, yan yung nominal damages. Ito naman, ini-estimate ng court. Greater than nominal, but less than actual. Walang right violated, no clear right violated, but there is injury nevertheless. Ini-estimate ng court, so pag minakita ka na damages na greater than nominal, but less than actual, yan siya. Ito pinaka-importante kasi ito class yung merong proof of accounting. Yes. Kaya kung nakita ka, ano yung damages na kailangan i-account mo sa court? Papakita mo yung mga resibo, etc. Actual. Kaya you see the word, you see the word compensatory, to compensate. Ito naman yung damages agreed in advance. Pinag-usapan na in advance. Sir, meron ba ganun, class? Sir, meron ba ganun? Yes. Example of that is penalty. Liquidated penalty is a form of liquidated damages. Agreed in advance. Ayan, at least alam nyo na. Pag nagtanong sa board exam ng klase ng damages, alam nyo na yung mental. Although I told you,